How does servant leadership resonate with you?
Servant leadership is knowing that people have power and being able to become an inclusive leader and doing things with the people. If it's development, we are doing it with people. I come from a background where when I was in my 20s, I went through a program that changed my way of looking at leadership. This was a program done by the Catholic Church. I went to a training called the Leadership Teams in Action. And we were being trained in 4 phases. And we're using a method together. It was an integrated method of scholars looking at Paul Freire, adult education methods, looking at the gospel and how it actually talks to us in terms of servant leadership, looking at people like Julius Nyerere and how we perceived leadership, looking at Gandhi, the first president of India, and the struggles, and it's looking at what values did those people have. What values did Christ himself have? How, when he said he came to save, what did he mean? When he says, I come so that they may have life and have it abundantly, what does that mean? What does that call me to do? What am I called by God to be? So it's actually living the gospel, living humanity. Being a human being. Yeah, so for me, from that background of really going through understanding understanding Paul Freire's methodology of involving people, helping people to really own their problems, helping people to write and read their own history, to write and read their own development, to write and read their own lives, has really helped me to become the kind of leader I am today.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you think servant leadership can influence socio-economic development?
Oh, tremendously. Servant leadership. Because if you have actually people who believe in people, who as a Chinese, there's a Chinese saying that that says, go to the people, live with them, love them, build from what they have, start from where they are, and of the best leaders, when the work is done, the people will say, we have done it ourselves. So if you can actually, putting that into practice means that you need to understand people's needs, and that you cannot understand people's needs without going to them, without asking them, what are your issues, without helping them to really realize they are the only ones who can change their lives. It means that people, their socio-economic problem will be resolved. We can give several examples that I have seen that becoming true. For example, I worked among the Gabras, and one of the issues that he had was that their goats are being taken away by the middle person very cheaply. And we discussed in Manyatas, we discussed among themselves, and they were able themselves to, for the first time, to hire a lorry, and for the first time, to actually all the way, and that the road was not like it is in today. 3 days to get to Nairobi, sell their goats, come back to the village, come back with the things that like unga, sugar, and come and sell it to the people, and then again organize, take another lorry. So the problem of our prices, we are being taken for granted with our goats. We started solving that. So there are several examples, there are several examples throughout this country, throughout the world, of how people have become to realize that these are our problems and we can solve them. This is our government. And we can actually steer this government to the direction in which we want to take them. So for me, servant leadership is leadership with people and by the people. It's not my people. It is our government. It is our country. So it's not standing there and saying my government. You don't own a government. My meeting, you don't own a meeting. It's people. It's people. So I think the central is believing in people, trusting in people.